Right, we've just been talking about the future workforce and the future skills therein, but how are we going about it? And we've got news coming through from Ruya Partners, the ADGM-based private credit firm focused on investing in the GCC and the wider MENA region. They've recently announced a $15 million senior secure private credit facility for Whiteshield Group. The AI native policy intelligence company with principal operations here in the UAE, but also over in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This is Ruya's first investment in sovereign intelligence. Tell us what that is and a bit more about the reasoning behind the deal. Let's go to the partner and chief capital formation officer at Ruya Partners. It is Omar AlYawer who joins us here live in the studio. Omar, always good to catch up with you. Really appreciate your time and thanks for popping into the studio.
Tom, absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Good to have you on board. Okay, sovereign intelligence. Let's get into this. That sounds very intelligent. What's that actually mean in business terms, and why the investment at the moment?
Sure. First, let's talk about what it is. What is Whiteshield? And then we'll go as to why Ruya Partners was able to partner with them and provide this growth finance. So Whiteshield, effectively, what they do is they've created a platform since 2011 to cater purely for governments, whether it's UAE, Saudi, and other governments, to help them monitor their policy, develop their policy in real time. Whereas when they set goals for 2030, 2040, it's usually done over years. But the labor force and the economic changes that happen in real time. And historically, governments were using old dated systems that don't catch up to what's actually happening on the ground. So it allows them to actually make changes, real-time changes to their own policy to make the right changes for particularly employment, social structure, and things of that nature that the government can actually see.
And it's becoming investable now because people are seeing the opportunities.
It's actually been running since 2011. The business has been running since 2011. They reached a point where they now need far more power to develop the technology further, expand their footprint regionally and globally. And to do that, they needed a non-dilutive financing option that we provided through Ruya.
So let's look at the opportunities here, the commercial opportunities, if you like. Because if people look at AI and they're saying, yeah, okay, AI is changing the way we consume things. It's changing the way we do business as well. When you say AI for governments, though, and how you use that to develop policies, etc., I suppose it takes on a different proposition. What's the commercial opportunity therein?
Sure. So think of it this way. So this is not a fad where you see a lot of companies come and go, particularly in AI. This has been around since 2011. Now, how are governments using it? You have multiple ministries within each country, whether it's UAE, Saudi, and other countries. Sometimes these ministries don't speak to each other often. And it only comes to the ruler's court to actually find out, are they actually working in cohesion? To do that, each ministry usually works in its own system. This effectively goes as an overlay to the existing systems of the ministries and gives the leading, whether it's the King's Court or the Royal Court in UAE, to say, wait a minute, Ministry of Education is coming out with more engineers, but we actually need more doctors. We need more AI coders than we need engineers. So it actually gives them a real shift of where the country's going without having to wait 5-6 years to find out that each ministry was not working together as they should have been.
I like this phrase, policy at the speed of compute. And I suppose that's where we're getting to at the moment. Obviously, Whiteshield, who you've teamed up with here, saying that governments need to move quicker at the moment. I suppose that comes with the challenges. But what's that look like in terms of practices? Look, the need for things quicker comes like if you're ordering something and AI can help you there. But when it comes to policy writing, what's that sort of look like in practice in a labour market? Say?
Sure. In a labour market, a perfect example. So it's not in theory, in actual practice. What has actually Whiteshield has delivered up to date is touched over 20 million citizens' lives, is created over 200,000 jobs, is touched 500,000 students, again, because it's impacting where the decision of going to what should you study in school? Yeah. Now you think you're starting your 4-year journey thinking, I need to go here. Within 2 years, you realize that the labor market completely shifted. And without you having access to real data through the government, as one of your lovely hosts actually said earlier today, you're giving the power to the government to allow the citizens to actually shift gears if they need to, particularly in the education realm that gets them into the labor force. And they've also helped unlock trade negotiations with over 37 countries, because that's also a part of it. So it allows them across not just national, but international communication with other governments.
Ruya, obviously well established here, no stranger to traditional VC venture capital or equity investments as well, but you've done things a bit differently here, private credit opportunity. Why that and why now with Whiteshield?
Sure. So with a company that's been around since 2011, it's now a well-established and well-regarded and has a strong moat, a business moat that exists. So when a founder-led business like this one, as with most of the businesses that we've invested in up to date, about 7 different businesses, all founder-led, they get to a stage where they now need a bit more firepower. However, they do not want to dilute their shareholder and they do not want to lose control. They've reached to a level that they need a bit more firepower to develop their technology, to reach new markets. And what we do at private credit that's different to banks, traditional financing, is that we sit with the founder and say, what can we do to support your growth? Versus here's our term sheet, take it or leave it, is what typically happens in traditional financing channels. Or a private equity lens where it says, give me a majority stake of your business and I'm going to tell you how to run the business that you started, which is not the case here. It is run by a gentleman who has been in the business for over 20 years. He's a lecturer at a Harvard Kennedy School of Government. So he's somebody that comes from that space, from understanding what governments look for and driven with AI overlays of technology.
But what sets them apart, Omar? Look, there is, between you and me and the few people that are listening, there's a lot of hype around AI at the moment. I'm sure you are getting pictures left, right and centre with regards to the strong AI narrative here, there and everywhere. What set these guys apart from the wider AI discussion?
Sure. This is not a new business. That's number one.
Yeah.
It's founder-led, so you have strong conviction from the founder with strong pedigree. When we sit with the founders, we find out what is their ethos, what are they actually trying to do, and have the model been proven up to a certain level? And in this case, it has. So it's not a new business. It's been around for a long time. We also do a lot of reference checks with their own current client base, the ministries that they say that that's their clients. We actually have conversations with them before investing. And the conversations that we've had prove to us that this is a business that has a strong moat, that this is not a subscription where they will come in for a few months and it'll disappear, as some of the AI models have come and gone, especially SaaS business models where it solves for a certain gap. But the reality is governments are facing a much more deeper challenges across the world and within our region that their policy needs to match the technology. And this is where this Whiteshield business has been able to do so successfully.
Early adopters, we know that governments across the region investing heavily. We started with the phrase sovereign intelligence. Do you see that potentially becoming an export category for the region?
I believe so. Just as we've seen with Gymnation being a local brand that has international attraction that now is expanding beyond our region, this is also an area that we believe in highly. That's why, as a 7th investment from our portfolio, we believe that this is something that is going to really be not just applicable in the region, but could be exported to many more geographies.
You heard it here first, people. Keep your eye on sovereign intelligence. Keep your eye on all the team at Ruya Partners. Omar, always good to catch up with you. Listen, whatever you're up to over the summer, enjoy it. I'm sure it'll be a busy one for you, but we get a bit of downtime as well. And we will catch up very soon. But can't thank you enough for your time today.
Thank you.
Omar AlYawer is the partner and the Chief Capital Formation Officer at Ruya Partners, who've just celebrated their first investment into sovereign intelligence with the backing of Whiteshield with that $50 million private credit investment. This is the Business Breakfast, live on Dubai.